Hello everybody, you join me in my quest for trash AI and annoying fights. In all seriousness, this Onslaught fight hasn't been great. We're going to go over some options that are good, also show some footage, but to be honest, I had a really rough time. Less so with getting some of the objectives done. The objectives, for example, are these ones, which I've done all of them. The one that cost me the most frustration was the Deathless King Groot. I'm a big fan of King Groot, and I like the Deathless King Groot champion, but I just found that things weren't just, I don't know, things that went well with the first three fights utilizing heroes on a roll, Astral Plane Avenging, and Onslaught of Challengers went really well. I went better than I expected them to be, and I chose a very weird champion, but there's something that I knew about this. I knew it was going to cost me a lot of revives. When it comes to locking down the SP1 evading, it's not something that I've perfected yet, if you know what I mean, and that takes time. Do I fight Onslaught that much on Alliance Wars, many other places in the game? Not so much. Would I ban the champion in Battlegrounds if I saw it pop up? Yes, I would. So there's a lot of things that kind of allowed me to escape that, not to my detriment and not to my joy, because hey, if you avoid something, then when it comes to pass that you have to face it, then look, it's more stressful and it's more annoying than it is. So maybe I should have intermittently trained myself in the champion. And I would recommend to anybody, if you've got an Onslaught and especially got it at a high rank, then quite simply go and find it and practice against it as much as possible to lock down the SP1 evading. It's not easy to get it locked down. When you do get it locked down, it's really good. It's like, you know, swipe, 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 break, and then swipe. But there's a lot of things that I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't know what the plan is with, you know, counter champions to it down the line, but yes, it's a lot of fun. Options wise, we'll just get quickly straight into some stuff. I've put some information in the description if you want to check out the link in the description, the usual place. Saw someone put on the forums like a really kind of quick node info and kind of explanation around it, which is, you know, dulled, fewer crits, fewer neuroshocks, missed opportunity, less neuroshock damage, pass the buck, reward for intercepting, which you've got to do anyways because of the heavy hitter node and inability to parry normally. So you're just intercepting all the time in a nutshell and trying to avoid that SP1. It is definitely doable from a solo perspective. It's just, look, there's a lot of stress around it. I know Kabam like to put out from time to time that kind of grief. Like we should have. So what Kabam want to do is kind of cause you grief. Just make that kind of sinking for a moment. Like Kabam are like, look, you have to accept the fact that you know, the game is going to be difficult. And I'm not saying games should be all easy things that you should be getting on with, but it's quite funny in it to say, hey, do you like being a feeling of frustration, annoyance, anger, grief acceptance? Then come to Marvel Contest of Champions, where it's fun all the time. Which, you know, sometimes, look, if you were super skilled at this game, of course people are one-shotting. Fair play. But to other people, it's like, hey, do you like punishment? Well, come to Marvel Contest of Champions, the game for you. Look, different options right here. I've put this in the link in the description to check out, but you can see it on screen. A lot of people are using Shang-Chi for two objectives. For me personally, I decided to use Cap Infinity War for two objectives. Would I have opted to do it a different way? Probably, but I just didn't want to face the... I don't have a Shang-Chi kind of ranked up to a degree that was acceptable. I do have a rank 4, which I did make a rank 5. It cost me less to do a rank 5 6-star version of Cap. I could have ranked to the 7-star, but I didn't want to go down that route. I kind of felt that would be taking away from a rank 2 to a 7-star elsewhere, and I got loads of rank up materials for doing rank 5s and rank up gems to burn. So I kind of went with that and just did and I had some dust, so I just thought, look, let's go all in on Cap Infinity War. And one thing I do want to point out is what I point out a lot of the time is, if you are going to find this frustrating, don't do it right away. Or do it once with your resources and come back in at a later date. But in the time frame, you can get 84 4-hour crystals, which is 50 plus 50, which should have, you know, potions and revives. You can also get 15 solo events done in that time for level 2 revives time 15, 14 apothecary runs giving 14 level 1 revives. You know, make sure to put your champion boosts on and stuff like that. It's always important to kind of maximize damage potential. Buy boosts with loyalty if you know, got much more loyalty. I've still got to wait 22 days until my next amount of purchase of a 7-star. So what do I do this loyalty? Well, wait. You know, that's the thing. I'll just wait until I can get another one, and I can pretty much get it. So you can manage your spend with stuff and kind of grab whatever you want. Open solo crystals for boosts. And the ones I'm talking about buying with loyalty, not just these ones, but ones like, you know, class-specific ones and things like that could be very helpful to your cause. So don't feel that you have to do it now. You've got time. You've got time to kind of grab, you know, some more resources. I've seen some people do initial clears with the likes of Bullseye and Immortal Hulk. Don't know if they're going to be helpful to yourselves, but look, I've seen people utilize them as much as possible. Of course, if you want an easy clear or easier clear, then you've got Hercules, and many people have talked about America Shav as being good. When I'm talking about other options like the ones here, these are always smaller because they're not the quintessential go-to ones at the moment, not popularized. A lot of champions are popularized at the moment of people using them. I did try Namor prior to this video, but I didn't feel that, because I was using a 5-star version, it just was not a great pair up. I need to get a 6-star up to about rank 5 to kind of give a full kind of, I don't know, flavor of it. Yeah. Would it be helpful to suppress power gain or power in general, or kind of deal with power, or, you know, champions that could be beneficial to build to power quickly? Yeah, you could use Vision, class advantage with Iron Man and Cap Wilson. I don't know, like that. These are all down to, like, if you think they're going to work and the high rank for you, then it may work. It's just down to getting those not neuroshocks, well, kind of making sure that you're not getting, you know, clapped. The issue that I have with this fight is the AI, and it's just at a point of running towards it. You know, you're trying to, as best you can, do things like intercept, or you're trying to get the champion to actually throw a special attack. Two fundamentals that need to happen. Intercept needs to happen so you can pass the buck, so you can put the debuff, the power sting debuff onto the enemy. But that's difficult because the AI is not great. It's really not. And I know we joke a bit about, you know, you're not allowed to say anything bad about Command, because it's kind of like they go, well, there's nothing wrong with the AI. There does at times feel that there's stuff wrong with it. I definitely felt like with Iron Fist, I didn't think that I think that just seemed different than it was, just different behavior. And that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Behavior. How certain champions behave in certain circumstances. So I don't get why why this is such a change, as you will, with it. Seen plenty of people like talk about this as well. Look, I've given you options, and, you know, it's important, I think, as well, to talk about the fundamentals. I mean, I saw like an interesting thread on the forums with stuff like people are in different. Do you know, I honestly thought that, like, this is weird. Like, we've got how hard is the SOS onslaught for you? Hard 53%, manageable 26%. I guess for me, and I do agree to this. It is manageable. It really is. But there has to be some key elements to the movements of Onslaught, which, look, it's not a great fight to start off with, but it's kind of beefed up in the fact that, like, well, it's not too great. AI sucks. Fight is pretty simplistic. You used rank 4 Hercules, rank 3 Shang-Chi, and rank 4 Photon. For me personally, I only wanted to do it. I would have loved to have done it just once, but I had to do it 3 times. I definitely wouldn't do it 4 times. And I had to do it in that particular way because I'm like, well, I wanted the Deathless King Groot. I think a lot of people, like myself, wanted that Deathless King Groot. That was the biggest costly thing for me. It was that fight. I don't know why. It's just something felt different. I can't use... Command won't allow the word felt. The AI behavior was acting differently. That's That's it in a nutshell. How do I describe that more? I think I've described it the way it is. Like, trying to get an intercept off had difficult because you couldn't pass the buck. You had to be very intercept proactive is the word. And because of that, and maybe the behavior of some of the nodes on that particular champion, Onslaught, that kind of gave rise maybe to the champion acting in a way that was kind of, well, yeah, just different than it normally would. In and around a champion that is already very frustrating and annoying. But in case I'm not alone in that thought process, so I'm not mad on this. It's just like in case other people have seen exactly the same thing. If you kind of go to the forums, you'll find exactly the same thing. Yeah, some people asking for a tune down. I think as well intercept. I'm not the best player. Maybe I know wrong, but intercepts are not working. Attacker, medium, defense light, medium, combo meter or should beat. So look, there are other people kind of like highlighting similar things to myself, but anyway, whatever. Unfortunately, we got through it. As I said, you don't need to tackle this content right away. You can indeed take a bit of time. If it's going to cost you revives, it cost me revives. Like at the end of the day, it cost me more for the Deathless King Groot one, if I'm being completely honest, than anything else. Is it something that kind of like it's an issue to me? No, because at the end of the day, you have to look at it from the fact side of things. If you're spending 10 revives or even 20 revives on that Deathless King Groot, as I just punched myself in a tit, then you could be worse. What's worse? Well, how about spending 5,000 units to acquire a piece of Deathless King Groot, or multiple? Actually, it would cost you more than that. Actually, if you were getting Deathless King Groot Selector, you'd have to get it. Oh well, we're saying that actually. Maybe I'm wrong because it's 3 pieces of it. So I guess in the long run, it could cost you a lot more if you didn't. So I didn't really explain it particularly well, but you know what I mean. Like if they had 2 extra pieces, and say it's all about getting another round of dupes, then Command would, of course, like you'd be spending a lot more units on it. So to spend as many units as I did to get it, hey, I'm chill with it. But anyway, that's it for me. Another video later on. Have a great day. Check out some other content. Who did you use? Who's effective? See you later. Bye-bye.